We're taking you back, by the way, we'll come back to that report later. We're taking you back to OR Tambo International Airport, where Banyana Banyana have arrived back home. There they are. Let's take those visuals for you full screen. They're coming back rather disappointed from the Women's Africa Cup of Nations campaign in Morocco, where they lost their last match to Nigeria, I believe it was. So they were defending champions when they went. As they come back, they're now fourth. Mawande Mateza, SABC News sports anchor, is actually at OR Tambo International Airport. Mawande, if you're able to hear me, speak to us about what we are seeing. Who was on this flight exactly?
Good evening, Tebekile. Well, the team has come out and we have the captain, Refiloe, waiting to speak to us, as there is no official press conference. So we have a moment with the captain. Refiloe, can you just give us a sum of your guys' performance at the Women's AFCON and how you felt about your performance as a whole?
Well, obviously we disappointed. Well, obviously we disappointed with the performance. It's not the objective that we set for ourselves, but it also gave us an indication of what work needs to be done going forward into the next WAFCON. So we have a lot of work to do as a team, as individuals, and everyone that's involved within the SA football.
Now, in the lead up to the tournament, there were those disruptions with you guys not training on a particular day because of whatever unhappiness that you had. Can you just tell us about that and whether you think that is something that disrupted the rest of your tournament?
Well, obviously what happened is one of the disruptions that we encountered. Also with preparations towards the tournament, I think this is one of the tournaments that we didn't fully prepare for, but we're hoping that going forward so much time can be taken into account into making sure that the team prepares very well, and by the time the tournament starts, everyone is involved and ready for the big stage.
Now, there's not a lot of time. There's tournaments to look forward to next year, the Women's AFCON again, and then the FIFA World Cup in Brazil in 2027. Where do you guys start now building for the future?
Well, firstly, we have to qualify for the next WAFCON, which is around October against DRC Congo. So that's the main objective for the team. So after that, then we see. But firstly, the main objective is to qualify for the next tournament. There's COSAFA coming up, so we're hoping that with the teams that are going to be assembled, the team and the nation can go in the right direction.
In terms of the level of the tournament, what can you say about it, especially looking at the way Nigeria came back?
Well, this is one of the trickiest and difficult tournaments that we've played as a nation. Particularly because of what is happening behind the scenes, but also on the field. A lot of teams have stepped up, and a lot of teams have got a lot of players playing overseas who gain a lot of experience and share that experience amongst the peers. So it shows the caliber of tournament that have been taking place and the type of individuals that have gone overseas to come back and help their teams.
And also, when you look at our standard when we won the tournament in 2022 and now, what was the difference?
The difference was experience. Now there's a lot of transition that's taking place in the team. So with that also we have to understand that at first it's going to be messy, but with it being messy, then it gets messy going in the right direction. So we're hoping that everyone who's involved in the game can help us get women's football where it needs to be.
Also, just being part of the best 11, including 2 of your teammates, how do you feel about that, and what does it say about the caliber of our team?
Well, having 3 players being part of the final best 11 of the tournament says, and it shows that we have quality players in our team. Despite getting with 4th position, we were able to get outstanding players. So that doesn't write off the team as a whole. So there's so much work to be done, but we still have good players in the team.
Your final message to Jermaine, and what can players really learn from what she's done for the national team?
Well, we've sent our messages to Jermaine. She knows how we feel as a team. We've had our send-off for her, and we're hoping that with the players who are going to be taking the baton from her can do so proudly and represent the nation as much as she has done.
What has been special about a campaign at this level with the team, Jermaine, that is, because I remember how she carried you in the attack with Hilda when Tembi got injured in the first tournament. What can you say just about her journey with this team?
Well, Jermaine got into the Banyana setup from an early age. She has got a lot of experience with her and also with playing abroad. So she has gained so much from the game and has also taught the players a lot. So with everyone that has been learning from her, from the type of player that she is and the type of person that she is, we've got so much to learn from her and also so much to continue with the legacy that she has started.
The Deputy Minister was here. She's affirming her support for the team, and also says she was there and she listened to all your concerns. What can you say about that?
Yeah, we're grateful for the Deputy Minister to come and see us, and we're hoping with the concerns that were raised, there could be a direction with regards to the team. Thank you.
Right, thank you for your time. That was the captain of the Banyana Banyana team, Refiloe, having a word with us about their performance and as they look towards to building for the future. And we're going to have the coach of the Banyana Banyana team, Desiree Ellis, joining us shortly as well.
Oh, my hands begin up.
Hey! No, I'll hold this one, coach.
Coach, can you please try to... I'm used to this, Musnauna.
Coach, I forget I must always adjust it.
Hey.
Coach, please try to look at the
There, okay.
Yes, please. Thank you so much. Welcome home.
Thank you.
Coach, just briefly, the team traveled and unfortunately we couldn't get anything from the tournament, but there could be something that we've learned out of this tournament.
Look, any team that goes to the tournament obviously wants to win it. We were no different. I think we were centimeters away of qualifying for the semi-final, and then they won it right at the end. A lot of teams came there. Teams that we played last year were obviously better. A lot of teams are not, like I said in the past, you can't underestimate anyone anymore, which we did not. As the defending champions, we knew that every game we were going to play was going to be a cup final, and it was that. And I think, we gave as best as we could. And sometimes when a team just does something better than you have to acknowledge that as well. But that is some of the things that you learn in how to manage, especially against Nigeria, the latter minutes. It's unfortunate that the injury came at the time, and if you saw the injury and what it looked like, I think emotionally it affected a lot of the players. We tried to calm them down, but that's not something you can do in 2-3 minutes. And at the end, they were not focused, or shall I say that emotionally affected them. But as I said, if we had scored that goal, that sort of ball took very long to trickle over the line, we could have been speaking different now. So it's those small little margins, I think in the final third, better decision making at times would have got us in on goal a few times, and you put a lot of pressure on us by not making better decisions in the final third.
Can you say that the team grew with the tournament as it progressed?
Look, I think all the teams grew with it as the tournament progressed. Playing the same team twice is always very difficult, and you could see that Ghana had also improved. I think because the tournament was so tight, you look at some of the games, except for the one quarter final, Nigeria against Zambia, all the other results were very, very tight. Teams have gone, it's not just a WAFCON anymore. Everybody wants to win it, and with next year being a World Cup qualifying tournament, if this is the standard, then it can only get bigger and better on the African continent.
2 injuries against Nigeria, TSL and Salvador at the end. Let's get back to
Look, I think Tisetso more than anything, I think she had done really well in that position. We had to sort of make an adjustment, but we cannot use that as an excuse. We took players with us for every eventuality that could assist us in different positions. And I thought Karabo moving over to centre-back didn't make the team any less weak. I thought she added some more. And if you look at the Mali game, for instance, our bomb squad, or our game changers as we call them, came on and took the game to a different level. So that is what we wanted to see. from players coming onto the field, showing that they're watching the game, showing that they're listening to the information, and that's all that you need from players when they come off the bench or when they step onto the field. So before you ask the question, I can tell you that we tried to do similar to what we did in 2022, where we wanted to win that first game at all costs and then try to make the changes to keep the team fresh, because we know that there was a chunk of games missed in the Hollywood bets. We know that obviously played a factor because game time was really, really important. So we knew we needed to keep the players fresh, and we put a team on the park for every eventuality, and a team on the park to win a game. I don't think any coach will put a team on the park that wants to lose the game.
Do you think that there's more that you could have done in order to be prepared for the Women's AFCON?
I think maybe a little more time, obviously. That would have also have helped if we had a little more time to work on certain things, because before you know it, the tournament is upon you. I think in 2018 and 2022 we had a little bit more time where we could work with the team, where we could try do different things, and we didn't have that extra time where we could have done that. So those are something that we're going to take forward, because from every tournament you obviously learn. Also, we had a squad of 22, and I think with the Ghana game we had 4 players sitting in the stands injured that could have made a huge impact in that game, but we just didn't play as well as we know we could.
So you got a squad of 22, so
yeah.
You need to have maybe what would have been a decent squad to take them?
Look, CAF gave us the opportunity to take that you would be able to take bigger squads, but we took a squad of 22 for various reasons, which I'm not going to say now, but we took that squad, and that's why we selected the players we selected, to make sure that we had a lot of options, that we had a lot of depth, which we did have. And I think injuries is part of the tournament, but some of the injuries really cut off our options in terms of players that can play in a lot of positions. We also took some young players with us, because we also have to make sure that we prepare players for the future like we've always done, and I think that for us was a big plus.
Could you speak about the future? What does the future look like for you and Banyana?
We have to prepare for a qualifier in October. I'm not sure when the COSAFA Cup is, because we haven't got dates for that yet, and that's going to be before we even talk about WAFCON, that's going to be a very, very important qualifier. We saw the DR Congo in the group with Zambia and Morocco. Yes, they might have lost their first game 4-0, but they are a formidable team. We played them last year in the qualifiers as well, with a very young team, because we didn't have players available. But as we said, you cannot underestimate anyone, because these teams are growing and they're putting investment in, as you saw. So we have to make sure that we do get the squad right again. We have to make sure that we do a proper analysis again, like we did. And I must take my hat off to the analysts. Everything he said was going to happen, happened. Everything he said they were going to do, they did. We knew that certain teams were going to play the long ball. We trained for that. We knew all of those things. But to get it perfectly, you actually have to work with it a bit longer, because you had, I think, 2 days between the quarterfinal and the semi-final, and normally it's a rest period of 72 hours. We had a travel day in between, and we didn't look like a team that played 120 minutes, and this is the grit and the resilience that this team has shown. So as far as I know, the next game is in October. I'm not sure about the COSAFA, it might be sooner.
Just as a follow-up,
Okay, we've just been watching, Banyana Banyana coach Desiree Ellis putting on a brave face as Banyana returned home to South Africa after an unsuccessful tournament, WAFCON, in Morocco last week, where they were basically kicked out. They went there as champions, lost a match to Nigeria, and that's how it ended for them in the semi-finals. They finished 4th overall. Mwanda Mateza, part of the SABC team that is for you at OR Tambo International Airport.